Your family has 3 properties. Could you describe where they are?
They're on 2nd and Hudson. We've been there since the place was all run down, dilapidated, torn down buildings across the street, and like early 60s. Well, non-owner. My father died some 10 years ago. My mother died recently with Alzheimer's, and so it's an estate. I mean, she had told people, I got 206 and my brother Sam got 208 and Joe got 210. I have 2 brothers. But that's not what she put in her will. So it just stayed in the estate, and it had to be sold to split up with the 3 sons. So I don't own anything, but I'm resident as a manager of the property. 1 building's been sold, and we had to make a big relocation deal with the tenants because we were all in emergency to do it. There were too many debts. And we're waiting to sell the other 2.
Your tenants were rent control properties.
Yeah, the rent control properties, yes.
And did you register your rents with the rent leveling board?
Well, once I was managing, I registered every year.
Did anybody from the rent leveling office ever tell you upon a registration that you were not in compliance with the ordinance?
No, they said they didn't. My understanding was that when I first got there, I was very nervous. Are we in trouble with anything? What's going on? I said, we don't check. You register your rents. When someone wants a calculation, then it goes from there.
When you went to sell the property, describe then what your relations with your tenants was and what the dynamics became between you and your tenants.
Well, I was very concerned about them. I've always taken care of my tenants the best I can. I was very concerned, guys, are we renewing their leases? What are we doing? My brother Stan was talking about, what can we do to break the leases? And I'm not trying to do it properly and protect them. I like these people, and I'm being stalled. No one wants to tell me anything. Finally, the realtor comes over to have a meeting with them, and he really, it's like it was a waste of time. Basically, he said, well, if you get a lawyer, we'll pay for it. That's the only bit of useful information that came out of it, and Scott said that they had a lawyer, and they were looking into the numbers. Some time passed, and then we get the demands from Ravi Bala that Scott wants $75,000, Ravi gets 10 for himself, and the tenant upstairs who's been there like less than 2 years gets $15,000. And it's dragging on and dragging on, and then they raise it. The tenant upstairs now wants $45,000. And again, we agree because we've got to pay legal bills. We don't have enough money for the taxes. We're in arrears on that. The estate's going under. The heck with it then. Stay. If we can't sell the property, we can't sell the property. It's not my fault that we can't do my parents' will. So then Ravi gets on. It's like this must have scared him. He wasn't getting his $10,000. It's like, well, we'll drop it to $120,000 if we get it signed right now. Fine. So we get it signed, and that's the deal, $120,000.
Did anybody ever communicate to you within that process that you were in violation of any rent leveling ordinance condition?
Well, Scott made the claim that he was being nice to us with his demand for $75,000 because I could sue you for back rent and charge you triple damages. So, I don't know what the rent situation is because I don't know what my mother followed. But I have to eat whatever he's giving me anyway, so I let it go. But then the next thing I get from the city is my copy of his doing the rent calculation, and it turns out his rent is low.
And who's got Scott's attorney all that time?
Ravi Bala.
So Ravi wasn't just representing Scott, he was representing a second tenant also?
Yes.
Okay. And how long had that tenant been a resident?
By the time she was gone, like 2 years.
So she was a resident for 2 years, and she took some part of $45,000?
Yes.
2 buildings left to sell. Are you guys active in that, or what's your situation now? Would you like to continue to be owners in Hoboken? Where are you?
I can't wait to leave Hoboken. I thought I would die here. I thought I'd spend the rest of my life here. I was very happy here, walking to everything, people I knew, but now I've seen another side.